So, little change of location again, and it's not like I've spent the last few hours doing this video. It's only been a couple of minutes, but while I'm standing outside in my other location, my wife came out and advised me that they sprayed for mosquitoes, so I had to find a new location because I wasn't supposed to be out there for an hour. So these are some of the challenges that we're having. I guess they're good challenges or bad challenges or crazy challenges. Okay, so the Ambulance Corps has been running nonstop. Quite frankly, they've been doing fund drives because in the beginning they needed a little bit more equipment and some more finances, and they're still looking for some funds. If there's anyone that's able to help out with that, the Ambulance Corps can always use our help. They are the best all-volunteer ambulance corps, in my opinion, in the country. When many of these other towns around us have gone to paid service, Teaneck has stayed strong, and we're also very, very busy still at the Teaneck Volunteer Ambulance Corps. So we think that the members there that are active, that are riding, are fantastic, and we really appreciate their dedication, and we thank them for everything they've done. So the next question you had is, when is the next election? Will polling be at 5 Star? That's a good question. So the next election, I believe, is July 7th, which is a primary, and I think it may still be vote by mail. I will find out, but that is the next one, and then obviously the presidential election is going to be in November, and it's still unknown what's going on. The last election, which was our council election on May 12th, was vote by mail, and there's going to be a new Teaneck council that is going to be sworn in on July 1st. The new council members that won this election are Mike Pagan and Karen Lou Organ, and who, by the way, Karen Lou Organ is a life member, former president of the Teaneck Volunteer Ambulance Corps, and Mark Schwartz, who is the current deputy mayor and is also going to be sworn in again as a council member. He's got another 4-year term that he just won. And he also is actually an active rider of the Teaneck Volunteer Ambulance Corps, as well as a volunteer firefighter in River Edge. And he's been very active during this time. How has the Helping Hands Food Pantry in Teaneck been surviving? So many of you may not know this, but I'm the founder of the Teaneck Helping Hands Food Pantry. And in the beginning, the first week of the pandemic, our director, Janice Purcell, who was a volunteer and a very good friend of mine, she died of corona, and it was very sad, and we at first did not know how to restart, but we've since regrouped. I have a monthly meeting with the group at the Helping Hands Food Pantry. They are being very safe as far as the amount of volunteers that come in. They are making bags, prepared bags, and giving it to the people that are coming to pick up food. They also have other precautions that they've put into place, and they've been increased in volume. The Teaneck Helping Hands increased in volume, and they're not accepting donations as far as food right now. They're accepting financial donations, but not accepting donations as far as food right now, because they don't want the different foods as much as they want people and appreciate people that want to help out. They don't want to take in food from other people right now, so they're buying everything in bulk, which is getting expensive, but they do it to keep for the safety of the recipients as well as the safety of the volunteers. So then the question is, are Teaneck parks open? So that's a great question, Rachel. Teaneck parks are opening little by little. As of this date, when I'm recording this, the parks are open. Not all the amenities are open. Tennis is open, basketball is not. Walking path is open, but that is changing, and it's evolving. And every day we are following the governor's rules. The governor sends us rules and says this is the rules. Teaneck was the first, if you remember, to shut down voluntarily, to ask people to self-quarantine. Teaneck was the first one to shut the restaurants, to shut the house of worship. And then the county followed, and then the state stood up and said, hey, no one's allowed to make their own rules. You have to. I'm canceling everything that everyone else did, and you have to follow what the governor's orders are, and we're running the show. And Governor Murphy's been fantastic. He's been out there. He's been vocal. He's been protecting the residents of the state of New Jersey, which is, I guess, the primary task of a governor. So this was certainly, a good opportunity to see him in action. And the truth be told is, and I'm a politician, I can say this, I think most of the politicians over the last 14 weeks have either faded into the background or have become leaders and have taken over in their community to make sure that their residents are safe. And that was refreshing. In Teaneck, we were written up in different newspapers about the leadership that the elected officials and our manager have taken. So that was a positive, and because of that, we saved lives early, telling people to protect themselves and bringing attention to this. So we saved lives. Will Teaneck Public Schools or private schools been opening in September? Still up in the air. That is still up in the air. There is nobody that can tell you yes or no. I think everyone is taking it day by day, little by little. We're turning up the dial as far as allowing people to connect and gather. For a while it was only 10 people, then it went to 25 people, and it keeps going up and up and up. And I think that the schools are planning and preparing as if they would, but there's nobody that has that crystal ball that could say that they will be. They're watching the cases and seeing if there is a new wave or a spike. And even if they do open, it is absolutely positively guaranteed that things are not going to be the same, that we are going to have to do schooling and busing and every other aspect of the education a little bit differently until we're able to all be safe. What is the plan for the reopening of the movie theater, restaurants, and shopping? Great question. So first of all, I'm a big movie buff, and I've upped my service on Netflix over the last 14 weeks to several users. And I was able to catch up on a lot of different movies and shows, which ordinarily I'm not able to because I'm a little crazy busy. But it's unknown. I have not heard yet about in New Jersey about the movie theaters. As far as restaurants, they're preparing for outdoor seating and possibly some indoor, but I'm not sure yet about the indoor. But as of the 15th of June, they're going to allow the outdoor seating. And there are some restaurants in Teaneck. That are looking to do, putting an outdoor seating or maybe closing some of the street area by where their restaurant's located. And then, how will taxes be impacted with all that is happening? So, fortunately, as far as local taxes in Teaneck, we have been very, very lucky. And honestly, we've been working hard over the last several years to manage the taxes in Teaneck as best as possible, and that was a positive because we were able to give the extension for municipal taxes in May to be paid in June, right? Many people have not been working. 30-40 million Americans are out of work, and that includes a lot of Teaneck people, and we were able to give that extension in May so that people who wanted to pay late till June were able to, but it required us to review our finances, and we did it, and we were able to give that relief. Obviously, we were waiting for the governor to give us the approval or permission, us meaning all the municipalities and the towns in New Jersey, the approval or the permission to be able to delay taxes, because we can't just do that on our own. And then he did do that at the end of May, and we looked at our finances, and our manager, Gene Kaczynski, who's been doing an outstanding job making sure that the residents are safe, making sure that the residents are informed, and following all the governor's daily orders and calls to keep up with everything that's evolving. He was able to make sure that he working with our CFO that we can extend those taxes. Now, how will it have an impact in the future? We're gonna see. We have to see. I mean, there's a lot still up in the air, but fortunately, financially, Teaneck is very fiscally responsible, and we've been, take a little credit, but because I get all the blame, so take a little credit. But we've been doing a great job bringing in revenue. But also, you have to imagine that over the last 14 weeks, a lot of revenue and money that might have come to the town is not there, right? I mean, we weren't able to do building permits or courts. Not to say that money goes to the town, but it still goes to expenses. It's supposed to be a net neutral, or other revenue sources that we would ordinarily get. So we will see the impact, but I have confidence in our manager, and I have a confidence in the town. And that's basically the rundown from Ellie White Cats. I hope you are staying safe. If you ever have any questions, you can always email me at katz07666@gmail.com. That's cats07666, that's the Teaneck zip code, @gmail.com. And if you'd like to get my Teaneck tidbits, if you don't get my Teaneck tidbits, send me an email and I'll put you on the list. But I want to just take a moment and really thank you as the residents, but also all the employees of 5 Star. They've been doing a fantastic job, and I've been interacting with many of them over the last 14 weeks as well. And remember, it's very challenging for them because they're not just taking care of their 5 Star family, they also have to take care of their own personal family. And that's been very hard. So I want to recognize the 5 Star community, both the staff and the residents, for everything your contributions over the last 14 weeks. And don't ever hesitate to reach out if I can ever be helpful. Ellie White Cats, have a successful rest of the week. Bye-bye.